Hey my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks. So, today's topic is, drumroll please, Shirley Squirrely Part 4. Oh my god, the bitch is back. Wait till you hear this story. So when we last left off, if you remember, Shirley Squirrely and Rocket Raccoon were like happily married and in this fabulous couple. I'm going to show you a picture. Take a look. Isn't that the cutest thing? But apparently they're no longer together. Now how I know that is because I hadn't seen them for a while, and then my next door neighbors who live in my old apartment. So get this, these fools love him to death, but I'm like, girl, they had their window open over by the fire escape, which is right next to mine. But they also made the mistake of keeping the screen open. Girl, what were you thinking? So about a month ago, I'm at my parents' house in the Bronx. My phone rings, and they're a young heterosexual couple. So the female calls me, and she's like, oh my God, James, are you home? And I'm like, no. Oh, and Alex is home, and a squirrel came into our apartment, and I was like, Shirley? I said, oh my Lord, what, how? And then she was like, oh, he left the screen up, which I was like, first of all, you bitches never heard of like bugs, birds, intruders. You keep the window open, yes. But you don't keep the screen open. Now, he is French, and I was like, girl, what were you thinking? He was like, oh, well, in France, we don't use screens. I don't even know what that means. Or if they do, they apparently leave the screens open. So I'm on the phone with her, and she was like, well, we don't know what to do. But shit, who am I, the squirrel whisperer? So I said, okay, this is what you do. So I'm on the phone with her, and I'm like, try to make this noise that I'm going to make, but if you stand by the window holding food and make with your mouth this noise that goes like this, the squirrel then thinks that you have food. Now I know this because growing up in Parkchester in the Bronx, there were squirrels everywhere. So I remember we would sit there and you would go, and they would come up to you because they would think you have food. One time, even a friend of mine, these squirrels, some of them can be a bit brazen because this bitch didn't have any food in her hand, and she's like, the squirrel came up to her, and the squirrel literally like jumped on her forearm and like slid down, and the bitch had scratches. So some of them ain't too nice. Shirley is, but this particular one wasn't. So anyway, I digress. So I said to her, and I'm having her repeat this, and I'm like, go like this. And she's like trying to do it, and I'm like, girl, sounds a bit half-assed, but whatever. So, and I was like, I'm in the Bronx. I don't know when I'm going to be home. So fast forward 2 hours later, it's 7 o'clock, and I'm finally heading home. It takes me about an hour to get home. So I text her, what's up? What's up with Shirley? And she's like, we can't get her out. And I'm like, oh, Lord. So 2 hours later, this fucking Shirley is still up in their apartment, and they don't know what to do. So then an hour later at 8 o'clock when I got home, I'm like, what's the verdict? Oh, we were able to get her out. Now, this was via text. I was like, well, what happened exactly? And then she's like, well, we called 311, but 311, I guess, was busy and told them, call 911. And she was like, so like we called 911 and the cops came and they handled it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm thinking to myself, so you call 911, which is like an emergency thing because you got a squirrel up in your shit? Let me tell you, Shirley, that bitch is resilient, relentless, and she's a bitch because she jacked that shit up. But I was like, I didn't say anything because I didn't even want the specifics. Like, what did the cops do? Did they go and make the bitch jump out the window? Did they chase her out, or did they actually grab her and then bring her back outside? I don't know. I don't care. I just kind of felt like, And I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to give them a fine, because you don't call 911 because you got a damn squirrel up in your house. Apparently they did. So anyway, Shirley, right? So then that was about a month ago. So fast forward about a week ago, I look out my window, and damn it, if Shirley had not created another nest like she has in all the other videos right outside my fire escape. And I'm like, girl, seriously? And I do what I always do, which is I take my little brush and I was like, bitch, you ain't living here. But then, so I brushed it out. So I actually did take a picture of like her nest. So the before and the after. Take a look. Girl, I done jacked her shit up. So that was about a week ago. Then, fast forward the very next day, I just happened to look out the window and the fucking nest was there again. And I'm like, seriously, Shirley? Now, it had rained that day, so the nest was sort of like, it wasn't very neat, so I wasn't really sure if it was that Shirley had actually rebuilt the nest or if it was that because it was windy and rainy, because it looked a bit disheveled. So I was like, maybe the leaves just happened to end up there in the corner because of how the wind was blowing. So, hate to say this, but I took my little brush again and I was like, So, then you fast forward. I don't know what possessed me later on that day to look out the window. I fucking look out the window, and at that precise moment, there's Shirley. And she's walking, she's on my fire escape, and she's walking towards her nest, which is no longer there because I'm a bitch. And at the same time that she's walking, it's like she stopped dead in her tracks, and then she saw me, and the look on her face was sort of like a look of confusion, like she's like, where's my shit at? And at that precise moment, she sees me and she like gets on her hind legs. And I swear to God, the look on her face and the way her little paws were, her little feet, it was almost like she was like, what happened? And I said, oh no. And I happened to be on the phone at that precise moment with my friend Cheesecake Mike. Hey, Mike. And I was like, girl, I gotta go. I like hung up on him. I was like, I got a videotape. So I pulled out my videotape. On my phone, I hit the videotape because then Shirley at that precise moment, she had run away. She had gotten off the fire escape and the tree is right there. And then this bitch literally, for like 1 minute, I had the video on her and she was on the tree. And you got to look carefully because I'm going to show you this in a second. But she literally was gathering up leaves again. And so I did this whole commentary because then I felt kind of bad. And I was like, oh, you know what, Shirley, I can't, like, you know what? You want to live here? Fine. Get your shit, get it together. I won't bother you anymore. So, and I'm like having this conversation while I'm videotaping her while she's gathering her shit up. Check it out. Oh my God. So look at Shirley. After I jacked her shit up, she's getting more leaves. And then she's going to come over here and build her nest. Okay, I've decided I can't jack her shit up anymore. As I did it, as you see from the pictures, and then I took the nest, took a picture of what it looked like afterwards, and now look how cute she is. Girl, okay, bitch, I ain't gonna fuck your shit up anymore. You could come live here. Just if there's a fire, I better not accidentally step on your ass. Oh shit, she dropped her leaves. Bitch, get it right. Is she too cute or what? Or I felt kind of bad. I'm like, bitch, you done dropped all your leaves. And you got to look carefully. Like, I hope you noticed, but like, you can kind of see the leaves moving. This halfway through it, you see her a lot more clearly. But girl, Shirley's too much. And I love her. And then the sad part is that like the bitch dropped her leaves and then she like ran off. And this was just like not even a week ago. And like every day I look out my window hoping that Shirley's gonna come back, build another nest, but I think she's like, fuck you, you bitch. You jacked me up one time too many. So Shirley is, I don't know, but come back, Shirley. Come back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, because I kind of miss her, But like I said in the video that I shot when I'm talking to her, I am still a little bit like, well, what does happen? Like, God forbid if I want to like, if I have to go out to the fire escape or if I just want to, because sometimes it's peaceful, it's cramped, but sometimes I just sit out there and I just like, looking at the leaves or the tree and just getting into that Zen space. Well, I can't do that if this bitch got a fucking nest there. So, but I've decided if she does rebuild it, I'm not going to mess her up anymore. So anyway, that's my Shirley story. I was like so happy, kind of laughed when that happened with my neighbors. And then I thought to myself, I got to do a part 4. And I had completely forgotten about it. So then a week ago when all of this happened, I was like, oh no, bitch, there's the answer telling me that I need to do this. So anyway, that's the scoop. And if you notice, Rocket and Shirley, honey, she's like, bitch, I can't even look at you anymore. And he's like, please, I want to be with you. Rocket, I'm sorry, but I think she's over your ass. Girl, you know men ain't worth shit, so fuck him. All right, that's the scoop. If you like what I have to say, by all means, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Tell all your friends. A girl can never have too many subscribers. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. I had so much fun doing it. And I miss my Shirley, and I miss you guys. Love you. Bye.